Donald Trump is bucking the global trend and refusing to recognize Palestine as a state.
Is there any use at all in pressuring Israel now to come to some sort of longer-term solution?
Well, you could make the case that you're rewarding people, that, you're rewarding Hamas if you do that. And I don't think they should be rewarded. So I'm not in that camp, to be honest. We'll let you know where we are, but I am not in that camp.
Mr. President,
because if you do that, you really are rewarding Hamas. And I'm not about to do that.
Trump's stance comes as the global tide is turning and world leaders are putting forward their intention to recognise Palestine as a state, including UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer, who says the long-term goal is a sovereign Palestinian state.
Solution. Our goal remains a safe and secure Israel alongside a viable and sovereign Palestinian state.
Canada's Prime Minister Mark Carney agreed, releasing his own statement recognising a Palestinian state, saying Canada has long been committed to a two-state solution, an independent, viable and sovereign Palestinian state living side by side with the State of Israel in peace and security. This commentator slammed Carney, saying all Hamas had to do to win a Palestinian state was to refuse to release innocent Israeli hostages. The message Canada is sending is that if you murder and kidnap enough people, you can frighten the West into giving you things. Oh, and also that Jewish lives aren't worth a loon. And this follows France's Macron being the first to declare his intention to recognise Palestine as a sovereign state, saying, true to its historic commitment to a just and lasting peace in the Middle East, I have decided that France will recognise the state of Palestine. The urgency today is to end the war in Gaza and to provide aid to the civilian population. But again, Trump dismissed this take, saying Macron does not matter.
Look, he's a different kind of a guy. He's okay. He's a team player, pretty much. But here's the good news. What he says doesn't matter. It's not going to change it. Well, he made a statement, France, Macron. The statement doesn't carry any weight. He's a very good guy, I like him, but that statement doesn't carry weight.
Reform UK leader Nigel Farage agreed with Trump, echoing that this move rewards Hamas.
So we as a country will recognise the state of Palestine, provided Israel, or we won't do it if Israel agrees to a ceasefire, ends the appalling situation in Gaza, which is pretty subjective. And as long as Israel commits to a long-term sustainable peace, but there's no demand on the Palestinians at all. Absolutely zero. Do the Palestinians have to recognise the legitimacy of the state of Israel and promise to exist peacefully in coexistence? No. My view, for what it's worth, I think this is actually rewarding Hamas in so many ways. And have we all forgotten? I think we have, the barbarities that took place on the 7th of October. And I think there'll be many, many British Jews tonight very, very upset by what the Prime Minister has done.
The Jewish community has hit back at the leaders, saying it's a profound betrayal. Chief Rabbi of the UK, Sir Ephraim Mervis, said, our government has announced its intention to recognise a Palestinian state, even if terrorists remain in power and hostages remain captive in tunnels. This can only disincentivise Hamas from agreeing to a ceasefire. It therefore fundamentally undermines the cause of peace and security for Palestinians and Israelis alike. The asymmetry of establishing a clear ultimatum for Israel but not for Hamas is an unfathomable misstep. So many in the Jewish community are viewing this as a profound betrayal of Israel's quest to live free of terror on its borders. And as is often the case, when the Jewish state appears more vulnerable, extremists at home and abroad are emboldened, and Jewish people are more vulnerable as a result. Italian Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni broke ranks with her European counterparts, stopping short of endorsing a Palestinian state, telling Italian newspaper La Repubblica, I am very much in favour of the state of Palestine, but I am not in favour of recognising it prior to establishing it. The leader's push to recognise Palestine as a state comes after mounting pressure from vocal activists who continue to stage protests across the globe.